Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new edition of Africa Today. My name is Ahmed Mukhtar. While Egyptian expatriates are continuing voting abroad in the annulled constituencies of the House of Representatives elections. This round of the vote involves the constituencies whose votes were annulled by the higher administrative court ruling. The voting process will run for 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday abroad, and on the 3rd and the 4th of January inside the country. Meanwhile, the head of the executive authority of the National Election Authority, Councillor Ahmed announced the start of the runoff of the annulled constituencies of the parliamentary elections abroad. Bendari have urged eligible voters to positively participate and choose their representatives at the lower house of the parliament. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Mr. Youssef Abdel Qadir, member of the Egyptian Union in Belgium. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Well, could you give us an idea about the participation of the Egyptian expatriates in Belgium in the House of Representatives elections rerun and run-off 2025?
Actually, in Belgium, we saw it. It was very interesting for all the Egyptian community to participate in this kind of election and this kind of experience. For sure, it's giving all the Egyptian community to just give the right voting for the right parties or the right persons that are interesting for. And we saw how is this experience is for the first time. It's giving us for sure is the right to give the right vote for everybody. For example, we see how many we are revoting every time we are changing the date, and still people have the time to go and to participate and to have to get them right for voting.
Yes. Mr. Abdel Qadir, also, how do you see the participation of the Egyptian expatriates as a kind of national duty? They are always keen on, in order to feel they are linked to their homeland.
For sure, the Egyptian abroad are very interesting about all the voting and all the election coming in Egypt. However, if it's presidential or parliamentary, so it's a kind of feeling we still here. Egypt still in our heart. We still have a big role to keep our eyes in all the change for the future in Egypt. We saw also how is, for example, if we speak in general, not only about Belgium, but if we speak about Europe, we can speak also about the experience, how it was going in France, how is all of Egyptian abroad in France, how they are very proud to go to participate, to choose the right person who can present them all and to bring them voice to the parliament, how they can really choose the right person for the future of Egypt. And for sure, for the moment now we see how it's very sensitive for Egypt moment, and not only for Egypt, for the whole world. If we speak about economic and stabilities,
yes,
for the whole region, that's why the peoples are always trying to choose the right person, even if it takes a different time to go to the embassies. And that
yes,
is the give.
Yes, I thank you very much.
Experience.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information, Mr. Youssef Abdel Qadir, member of the Egyptian Union in Belgium. Well, the Central Bank of Egypt, CBE, and the African Export-Import Bank, Afrixim Bank, have signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a gold bank aimed at transforming Africa's gold industry.
The Central Bank of Egypt and the African Export-Import Bank have signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a gold bank aimed at transforming Africa's gold industry. This strategic initiative is designed to bolster central bank reserves, reduce Africa's dependence on external refining and trading centers, and formalize their gold industry operations. The MOU sets the groundwork for both institutions to create a comprehensive feasibility study evaluating the technical, commercial, and regulatory aspects of setting up a fully integrated gold banking system in one of Egypt's designated free zones. The proposed system will include an international certified gold refinery, secure storage facilities, and specialized financial and trading services. The initiative also envisions expanding across all African nations, engaging governments, central banks, mining companies, and relevant industry institutions to foster cooperation, unify practices, and promote sustainable gold trade across the continent. Governor of the Central Bank of Egypt, Hassan Abdullah, emphasized that this project lays the foundation for broader continental cooperation, stressing Egypt's role in leading efforts for economic integration with Africa. He pointed out that Egypt's geographical location linking Africa to the Middle East and Europe positions it as a potential regional hub for gold trade and financial services. President of the Afreximbank, George Elambi, reiterated the commitment of both parties to collaborate and pool resources to enhance financial stability and drive economic growth in Africa. He noted that while the MOU may appear straightforward, its impact will be far-reaching, heralding a revolution in how Africa extracts, refines, and trades its gold, all while ensuring its value remains within the continent. Elambi further explained that by building gold reserves, Africa will enhance its resilience, minimize vulnerability to external shocks, improve the stability and convertibility of its currencies, and generate wealth within the continent.
Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have with us over the phone our dear guest, Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, Professor of Economics. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, and Happy New Year 2026, and a prosperous year, inshallah, throughout the Arab and Islamic and the people of the Global South.
Thank you very much. Happy New Year to you and to your family. Dr. Mostafa, how will the establishment of the Gold Bank strengthen Africa's financial stability and sovereignty?
Currently, a significant portion of African mined gold is refined and traded in offshore hubs like Switzerland, London, Dubai, and Singapore, and so on. Therefore, by establishing a domestic gold bank, Africa retains value-added profits within the continent. Therefore, we will strike, two goals. The first, ownership of value chain. It shifts Africa from a raw material exporter to a financial service provider, allowing nations like Egypt, like the other African countries, to control the refining as well as assaying and certification of their own, gold. Number two, reduced dependency, because it will minimize the reliance on Western financial infrastructures, which is susceptible to sanctions or geopolitical shifts. And as we see, now we have a lot of geopolitical shifts and wars and so on. Therefore, the whole issue will be okay. And should you know also that it will, make Africa avoiding a lot of things, because now the gold, the ounce already reached $4,500 US, and also the silver, because China from this year will start, just to abstain from exporting silver, because silver it is in all the IT new products and so on, and artificial intelligence and digitization and IT industry. Therefore, also the silver will be, escalated very, very much this year. Therefore, I think this bank will be like a good shelter for Africa in that respect.
Yes, Dr. Mostafa, in what way can the gold reserves help the African economies to reduce being exposed to global financial shocks?
It's a good question indeed. Gold is a classic, safe haven, as we know, because each one, even the ladies, of course, like you and the others, just adhere to having some golden products. Therefore, asset like that typically moves inversely to the US dollar. Therefore, it will help from the exposure of a global financial shock, just to counter cyclical buffer during global recessions, for example, that happened in 2027, and that was in Corona, and the recession that we may expose in the very coming months, because I already expect something like this will happen again. Therefore, it will make us away from such shocks. Also, or high inflation, like what's going on right now in the West, gold prices often, rise. Therefore, once you have the gold, it is like a safe side for you. A robust gold reserve allows African central banks to offset the loss in value of their fiat currency holdings as well. Number two, protection against reserve freezing. Recent global events have shown that foreign held reserves can be frozen. Therefore, storing gold in a continental bank like this African bank ensures that these assets remain accessible to African nations, regardless of the international political tensions or the matter of freezing your hard currency reserve, whether in dollars or in euros or whatsoever like this.
Yes. Dr. Mostafa, could the Gold Bank support the African currencies or future regional monetary integration?
Yes, of course, because, the initiative serves as a foundational anchor for future regional currencies, like Egyptian pound and the others. Therefore, it will help in two main issues. Number one, the common settlement asset. Gold can be used to settle trade imbalances between African nations without requiring whether the euro or the US dollar, directly supporting the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. Convergence criteria, this is number two, because a shared gold reserve framework helps harmonize the monetary phases of different countries, making the eventual goal of a common African currency more technically feasible.
Yes. Dr. Mostafa, what long-term economic benefits could Egypt gain by hosting the Gold Bank?
Once Egypt is hosting the Gold Bank, primary hub for this, and refining, facilities, Egypt will stand to gain first financial hub status, and that will add value to Egypt. Egypt will likely host the internationally accredited refinery and secure vaulting facilities, attracting foreign direct investment in the logistics and financial sectors. Number two, revenue from services, because Egypt accordingly will earn significant fees from vaulting, refinery, and trading services provided to the other African nations, because Egypt will have the whole issue, because Egypt is the most qualified country for this. Number three, of course, it will, retain your strategic leadership, because hosting the bank summits here in Egypt makes the role of Egypt as a bridge between African resources and golden markets, whether in Middle East or worldwide.
Yes. Dr. Mostafa, how will the African central banks utilize the Gold Bank to diversify the reserve assets?
This is also another good question, because the African central banks will utilize the Gold Bank to move away from dollar hegemony, and we are suffering currently from such points. Therefore, we also will have a lot of benefits, or several benefits, sorry. The asset allocation, because traditionally many African reserves were heavily weighted towards US Treasury bonds. The Gold Bank allows for a seamless transition into physical gold, which has no counterparty risk, as it is no one else liability. Number two, monetization of local production. Nations like maybe Ghana, Mali, or Sudan, or whatsoever can monetize their underground wealth more effectively by selling gold directly to the regional bank in exchange for liquid credits or currency support, rather than selling it at a discount on the global spot market during times of distress, like what we are witnessing right now.
Yes. Dr. Mostafa, how might this initiative affect or have an impact on Africa's balance of payments and foreign exchange stability?
The Gold Bank will improve the current account and financial account of member nations in several ways. Number one, import substitution. By refining gold locally, countries save the foreign exchange previously spent on importing, refined gold for industrial or reserve use. Number two, currency, packing. Central banks can use their gold stocks to intervene in foreign exchange markets. When a local currency is under pressure, having transparently held gold reserves increases investor confidence and reducing, the capital flight, or the capital runaway, and stabilizing the exchange rate as well.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Ahmed Mostafa, Professor of Economics. Ladies and gentlemen, a short break and I'm going to be back with you. Welcome back. Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport, Kamel El-Wazir, met with Sudan's Minister of Industry and Trade, Mahsin Ali Yaqub, and her accompanying delegation in order to explore the ways to strengthen bilateral relations and industrial and trade cooperation between the two countries.
Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transport, Kamel El-Wazir, met with Sudan's Minister of Industry and Trade, Mahsin Ali Yaqub, and her accompanying delegation to explore ways to strengthen bilateral relations and expand industrial and trade cooperation between the two countries. At the outset of the meeting, El-Wazir underscored the historic and geographic ties linking Egypt and Sudan, reaffirming Egypt's commitment to supporting its Arab neighbors. He stressed that Cairo places high priority on deepening cooperation with Sudan, particularly in the industrial and trade sectors, to promote sustainable development and shared prosperity. Discussions focused on enhancing industrial integration and facilitating trade exchange. The Egyptian Ministry of Industry presented its vision for closer industrial cooperation with Sudan, emphasizing the optimal use of Sudan's abundant raw materials and skilled labor to establish joint industrial projects that increase value addition and benefit both economies. The livestock and leather industries featured prominently, with proposals to establish mechanized slaughterhouses and modern tanneries in Sudan based on successful Egyptian experiences in Chad and Tanzania. These initiatives aim to maximize the economic value of Sudanese meat and leather products. The two sides also explored opportunities in the pharmaceutical sector, including the establishment of specialized veterinary drug manufacturing facilities in Sudan in coordination with Egypt's pharmaceutical industry chamber. In addition, plans were discussed to develop fertilizer production plants in Sudan in partnership with the Egyptian Fertilizer Industry Chamber, supporting agricultural growth and furthering industrial integration between the two countries. Al-Wazir affirmed Egypt's readiness to harness the full capacities of its affiliated institutions to support Sudan in human capital development and professional training. This includes technical assistance from Egypt's technology centers, specialized training programs, and capacity building initiatives aligned with the international standards through the Egyptian Organization for Standards and Quality. For her part, Minister Mahasina Ali Yaqub expressed Sudan's appreciation for Egypt's achievements in industry and transport and conveyed her country's desire to benefit from the localize these advanced experiences. She emphasized the importance of capitalizing on Sudan's natural resources through strategic partnerships and affirmed Sudan's full commitment for offering the incentives and facilities needed to attract Egyptian investors and the manufacturers, supporting economic development in both nations.
Well, the UN humanitarian team have visited El Fasher in Sudan's Darfur region for the first time since paramilitary force overran the city in October, carrying out a rampage that is believed to have killed hundreds of people and sent most of the population fleeing. The UN said the hours-long visit gave the UN its first glimpse into the city, which remains under control of the rapid support forces. The team found hundreds of people still living there, lacking adequate access to food, medical supplies, and proper shelter. The UN team visiting El Fasher focused on identifying safe routes for humanitarian workers and conducted only an initial assessment on the situation on the ground, with more teams expected to enter. Egypt will play with Benin in the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations after Benin secured third place in Group D despite losing 3-0 to Senegal in the final group match.
Egypt will play Benin in the round of 16 of the Africa Cup of Nations after Benin secured third place in Group D despite losing 3-0 to Senegal in their final group match on Tuesday. Benin finished third with 3 points, qualifying as one of the tournament's 4 best third-place teams, while Senegal topped the group with 7 points on goal difference ahead of DR Congo. Egypt, the winner of Group B, had been waiting for the outcome of Group D to determine their knockout opponent, with Benin confirmed later on Tuesday. The last 16 match between Egypt and Benin will be played on Monday, 5th of January at 6 p.m. Cairo time at Adrar Stadium. Benin's qualification came despite their defeat of Senegal, who secured top spot in the group with 7 points, edging DR Congo on goal difference. Egypt's projected path to the final now sees the winner of the Egypt-Benin match facing the winner of the match between the groups of F leaders Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire or Mozambique, and the runners-up of Group E, Sudan or Burkina Faso, in the quarterfinals.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of our daily program, Africa Today. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Please wait for us from Saturday until Thursday in Africa Today.